Good day. Today's class will cover PID control. Let me begin the process by sharing my screen. Okay, PID control, a very basic explanation for practical application. The goal of this class is not to make you a PID expert, but is designed to give you the confidence to talk about PID control as it relates to our products, whether it is the Sporlan case controller or the Micro Thermo case controller, and feel confident as you explain PID control to either an end user, engineer, architect, or a contractor. We begin with a feedback loop. The feedback loop consists of a controller, the process or plant, output of that process, feedback, which goes to the input of the controller. The controller then makes changes to the process. We measure that output, is feedback, comes back to the controller, and this loop continues 24/7, 365. In our case, the controller is usually a Sporlan S3C or microthermal case controller. The process or plant is usually an evaporator. That might be a simple evaporator in a home air conditioning system. It could be in a blast chiller. It could be in a walk-in cooler or a display case in a supermarket. Output is either the superheat and or discharge air. Feedback comes via a temperature sensor and or pressure transducer. So here's a working example. This is a microthermal case controller. The system or plant that we are controlling is the evaporator. What is our feedback? We have temperature input, coil outlet temperature, coil outlet pressure. T air, temperature off the coil, discharge air. T evap, which is the outlet temperature of the evaporator. P evap, which is the outlet pressure of the evaporator. The case controller takes the calculation and does a working superheat calculation 24/7. The actuator command is given to the EEV. We open and close it based on the demand of the evaporator. How do we control that demand? Again, by feedback here, here, and here. So our set point can either be discharge air temperature, it could be product temperature, it could be box temperature, it could be evaporator superheat, or honestly, it could be all of the above. So optimum temperature control, what we want to do is hit the set point as accurately, as precisely as possible. So this horizontal line here is our primary set point. This line in red here is our actual process temperature. And I've highlighted here in green, this error here is set point error. So what we want to do is eliminate or reduce that set point error as much as possible. How do we do that with today's control? We do that with PID, Proportional Integral Derivative Control. Now, I am not going to go into the math deeply at all. I'm just going to say this. You have concurrently operating a proportional calculation, an integral calculation, and a derivative calculation. The goal of PID control is to get to the set point as fast as possible with the least amount of error, providing stable control. So let me use some working example. So here we have a simple graph, blue indicating our primary set point, the red line indicating our feedback or process temperature, and the green arrow here, this area under the curve, indicates set point error. And what we want to do is we want to reduce or eliminate set point error. The first way of doing it is with proportional control. This is a very simple example. Think of it as a liquid line solenoid responding to temperature in a case. The temperature in the case, the set point, is 32 degrees. By turning the solenoid on or off, we are taking a look at the set point and we are making a present error correction or a real-time error correction. That is essentially proportional control. What is my set point? Did I hit it? Did I overshoot it? Did I undershoot it? Make a correction in real time. We need to get more precise. We add integral. Integral looks at the error. More specifically, integral is past or historical. It looks at the error historically, and what it does is it tries to correct that error. So it looks at the amount of time we were in error here, compares it to this, compares it to this amount of error, compares it to this great amount of error. And it keeps a running calculation of past or historical error to try to get the control to be more accurate. Thirdly, we add derivative. Derivative is future or predictive error correction. In other words, how quickly or how slowly are we correcting the error? The math takes a look at the slope. You can see the slope here is very great, or in other words, we're responding very quickly. The calculation is done and the controller slows down the response, tries to level it out so we get a more steady and more precise response to set point temperature. To wrap it up, PID control, simply expressed, is proportional, which is a correction in real time based on present error. Integral is a calculation which takes a look at the history, the cumulative of past error corrects for that. The derivative calculation looks at future or predictive error. In other words, how slowly or how quickly am I going toward the set point, and it makes a calculation to either speed up or slow down the action. Again, optimum temperature control, we want to hit that primary set point. The goal, get to the set point as fast as possible with the least amount of error while providing stable control. Well, can we do that in the real world? Yes, we can. We can do that with our Sporlan case controller or our microthermal case controller. This is a screenshot of an actual supermarket application using a microthermal case controller. The feedback temperature here is the actual control temp in the refrigerated case. It is indicated by the green line. If you look very carefully, the blue line underneath is the set point line. It looks to be about 28 degrees right here. So as you can see, with the P and the I and the D working simultaneously or concurrently, we're able to keep the real-time control temperature precisely at the level of our blue line, which is set point. And that's the type of control that your customer is going to demand for their investment in electronic control. Well, thank you very much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at cjcunliffe@parker.com or give me a call at 908-415-9883. Again, thank you very much.